Hello everyone, it is I, Republic Studs here, with another video. Now, welcome back to Mando Mondays. Now, I figured we'd do a little bit of a different thing this Mando Monday, where I would discuss LEGO sets from the Mandalorian that you can already buy. And these aren't sets that are necessarily, from the Mandalorian themselves with that marketing, but they're still builds that have existed. And I'm going to basically be going over first the ones that you could currently still buy that are on like Target and LEGO Store and all those site shelves. And then after that, older sets, which you'd still probably find on eBay. And most of these go for a decent price. But with that said, please remember to subscribe, hit the bell. We're gunning for 8,000 subs, so anything would be much appreciated. And let's get on into it. Also, warning, there is spoilers for all of the newest episodes of The Mandalorian. But yeah, let's get into it. First up, we have set 75243, the Slave 1 20th Anniversary Edition. Now, this one obviously comes with like 5 figures, 1,007 pieces, ages 10 and up. And while obviously it doesn't come with characters, we also saw the Slave 1 obviously in the new episodes, you'd still pick this set up right now on shelves. And I recommend you do it soon, because it's going to go really quickly because of the new episode. Now, it comes with Zuckuss, Forlorn, Boba, Han, and Leia. Obviously, they're not in the Mandalorian. Obviously, Boba is, but not in this way. None of these are actually fitting for the Mandalorian exactly, but except for maybe Boba. But it is still an awesome set. I totally recommend you get it. I already picked one up on Black Friday. Before, I was planning on buying it anyway, but now that it was in the Mandalorian, which, oh my gosh, that scene was insane. Now you can pick up your own, and I think that's really cool. Let's move in to the next one. We have the Master Builder Series Mos Eisley Cantina. This is the brand new LEGO Star Wars set that came out this year, and obviously we see the Cantina in both episodes 5 of Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian, and we also see it in the beginning the second episode of Season 2 in The Mandalorian, which is sick. And a lot of the figures are not very applicable here. Obviously, you don't get Peli, Dr. Mandible, the bartender. They're now all droids. But the set itself is from The Mandalorian, which is sick. I would have loved to see them with the Mos Eisley Cantina. To like have a little one of those droids in The Mandalorian in the back. Just so that way if you want to have a Mandalorian version, all you have to do is switch it out. Wouldn't be that hard. I would have loved that. But yeah, so this obviously is a huge set. It's around $350. It's out of stock at the moment. But I think, again, it's a great alternative for a Mandalorian set, and I totally recommend you pick it up. I'm going to, certainly, once it's back in stock. Next up, we have Anakins Pod Racer. So it's 75258. This is the 20th Anniversary Edition, ages 7 and up. It is still on shelves now. Obviously, you get Anakin, Luke Skywalker in his, like, old appearance, and obviously, you get Padme. Now, you're like, Studs, the Pod Racer isn't in this. Well, you'd be right, yes. But it is basically, you are taking the Pod Racer parts, and you can make that into a Cobb Vanth speeder, which would be really easy with only the parts from this set. That is why I put this on here, because people are saying that the Pod Racer Cobb Vanth uses is Anakin's pod. I don't know if it's exactly Anakin's pod. It might be. I don't know if I'd like that. I think I'd rather just be some random pod that happens to be yellow. But overall, I think it's really neat, and I think that's an awesome way you can make Cobb Vanth speeder. Maybe get the Boba Fett from the Slave 1 and, make that into a Cobb Vanth. That could be cool too. And yeah, let's move into the next set that you'd still buy on shelves for the Mandalorian. Next up, we have set 75265, the Bantha vs. T-16 Skyhopper Microfighter set. Now, obviously, we don't see a T-16 Skyhopper, but we do see a Bantha and Tusken Raiders in The Mandalorian Season 2. And I think this is an absolutely awesome set. I recently picked it up. It's on sale now for about $16. It is great, especially the Bantha. The Bantha build's adorable. And I really like the, obviously the Tusken Raider. That's a very neat figure, and I think it's very underrated. And you also obviously get the pilot. The pilot's okay. You can use it for really anything. It's very applicable to be a random dude. And I think getting a Tusken from Season 2 is just awesome, and I totally recommend it. With that being said, we're going to move in now to the sets that are not on shelves, but if you want to pick them up on eBay or used or something and you just want the builds, this is what I'm going to recommend you do. We have the set 75106, the Imperial Assault Cruiser. Now, at the time, I regretted getting this set. Like, looking back, even 3 weeks ago, I was thinking, I could have gotten this set, or I could have gotten another set at the time. And I was regretting it. But then the episode Season 3, The Heiress, came out, and we saw this set prominently featured. I was like, yeah, I don't regret it anymore. But yeah, this came with a great selection of figures. You got 2 TIE pilots, you got Callus, you got Sabine, you got a little droid, you got a little officer, and this is actually a really cool set. Obviously, there's lots of features loaded on. You get shooters everywhere. You can drop TIE fighters out of it. Obviously, the reason you're going to want this is for the cruiser itself, because it was featured in that episode, so you could have your custom Bo-Katan and Mando and all the Mandos running around shooting it, opening airlocks. It's a very fun set. I have it right now. It's right in front of me, actually, as I'm recording this, and I actually think it's a decent size. It's about this big, and I think you should totally pick it up if you find the build for a decent price. I know they're going to start going up in value. So yeah, they're a great cop. I totally recommend you get that set. Next up, we have the Sandcrawler, and really you can choose from any of these. Obviously, the UCS one that came out a while ago looks a lot better. That was ages 14 up. It says 75059, and it had 3,296 pieces, which is crazy. It's a very beautiful looking set. Obviously, it's going to be more on the expensive side if you want to pick it up. And you also have the new playset, which is probably better for, prices on the resale market. But this one came out, I believe, 2 years ago, 1,239 pieces. Came with, 6 figures, I believe. You got 2 Jawas, you got Luke, you got some droids, obviously, in it. It's a great little build. I really like it. And obviously, the Sandcrawler we saw was very prominent in Episode 2, the first season of The Mandalorian. And, we're just seeing Jawas. Now they're thinking such things as off-world Jawas. And they're just popping up everywhere. They're on Navarro, they're on Tatooine. They were on that planet where they found Baby Yoda. They're everywhere. It's crazy. And yeah, that is the Sandcrawler. Let's move into the next set that is applicable for the Mandalorian Season 2 or 1. Next up, we have another UCS set. It is the Slave 1. Now, this is set 75060, ages 14 and up, and with 1,936 pieces. This is oh my gosh, this set's a beauty. I love this one. Obviously, you get Boba, you get the Bespin Officer. It looks great. You get Stormtroopers, you get Han and Carbonite. I cannot describe how awesome this set looks. Now, obviously, you could get the playset. That's the one you could literally buy on shelves right now. But if you want a more detailed model, UCS Slave 1 is totally the way to go. I love this set. I wish I owned one. I really regret not picking it up. It is just so cool and so detailed. And the new one is cool, too. The new one I do like. Obviously, it's smaller and more mushed. It'll definitely go to scale with the Razor Crest. Not like that matters anymore. Overall, that is the Slave 1 UCS edition. I love it. I regret not getting it. It is amazing and beautiful in every possible way. If you can get a chance to get this for a good price, I would. Next up, we have set 75211, the Imperial TIE Fighter. Back in 2018, they released this TIE Fighter for Solo. Obviously, this isn't a solo set. We would be using it as a set for the Razor Crest or Slave 1, obviously, to combat, because we see TIE Fighters in the new season. Granted, they fold in weirdly now. But I think it's neat. Obviously, you get Han, you get Tobias Beckett, you get the pilot, you get the little trooper. They're nice. Obviously, this one also still is not on shelves, but I really like it. I think it's really cool. And obviously, you'll also pick up the UCS one if that's what you desire, but, it's not as applicable with the new Slave 1, Small Slave 1, and Small Razor Crest. I still like it nonetheless. Obviously, both of them are beautiful builds, much better than the new TIE Fighter, in my personal and humble opinion. Yeah, please remember to subscribe, like, hit the bell, do all the other things. I really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, and stay awesome.